Okay, so, ready to dive in. Today, it's Little Lost, Jon Wiilde. We're going deep. Deeper than just the surface level.
Deeper than just a catchy tune.
Yeah, right. Like you hear lost and you think, okay, maybe geographically lost. But this feels way more existential.
Oh, absolutely. Like searching for meaning,
Right.
purpose, direction. And the lyrics don't shy away from the rawness of that feeling.
No, they really don't. It's like, bam, right from the start. You just sound a little bit fucking lost. Well, okay, blunt much. Um, I'm curious, from your perspective, what's the deal with that kind of language in music?
It's interesting, right? Because it is jarring,
Yeah.
but you see it, well, hear it a lot in certain genres, and it's not always aggression.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the opposite. It's like caring so much you drop all pretense, raw honesty, even if it stings a bit.
Like tough love, but in song form.
Exactly. Tough love, but make it music.
Okay, I could dig that. But then, and maybe this is where the love part comes in, there's that line, I want to love you like your mother used to hold you. Like tenderness.
Right. So tender. But then, boom, conflicted again. You were always just running around. Man, that's gotta hit home for a lot of people.
Oh, for sure. Like anyone who's ever seen someone they care about struggling, making choices that leave you, I don't know, a little heartbroken.
Totally. It's that mix of wanting to support them, but also being frustrated, maybe even feeling a little helpless. The
Yeah.
song really captures that push and pull.
It does. And then it gets even more complex, image-wise, decomposing into the earth, blossoming out. Not exactly your typical love song stuff. Where do you think he's going with that?
Right. It's so vivid, so beyond just a simple metaphor. I mean, maybe it's about wanting to be reborn, shedding the old self, or this deep connection to nature, wanting to return to the earth. Could even
Yeah.
be a rejection of like traditional burial, wanting something more natural.
It almost makes me think about how we sometimes have to completely break down before we can grow into something new, you know?
Oh, I like that. That's a great connection.
Like maybe being lost isn't always a bad thing. It's part of the process.
Exactly. And it's interesting how the idea of transformation kind of plays out musically too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The repetition of you should do something about it, it builds and builds. That intensity.
It's like a call to action, almost desperate, pleading, and musically it just drives the song forward, you know?
Totally. It's the emotional peak, for sure.
Absolutely. And it's not just about doing something, it's the hesitation.
Hmm.
Which brings us to, this line always gets me, heavy is the head to hesitate to wear the crown. Feels like a whole other layer, right?
It does. Almost like a separate thought dropped in.
Yeah. And it makes me think about responsibility, you know? Maybe finding your way, taking charge. It's not all sunshine and roses. It's a burden too.
Totally. Like, yeah, you should figure things out, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
No kidding. It's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess after this deep dive, I mean, wow, Little Lost is way more than just a song about being lost, huh? The language, the imagery, it all comes together to create this experience. But what do you think lost even means here? Is it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, something else entirely?
Right. What hits you most when you hear it?
I don't know. I'd love to hear what our listeners think, what resonates with you guys, and maybe even share what helps you find your way when you feel lost.
Yeah, let us know. Let's keep this conversation going.
Absolutely.